Let's go through every single member of the Jedi Council in canon and, well, not in Legends, because if we did that, we would be here all day, because there's a much more extensive history in Legends. But in canon, so first and foremost, I do want to say, obviously, that Sifo Diaz was on the Jedi Council, but they kicked him off the Jedi Council. Jocasta Nu was on the Jedi Council for a time before retiring from the Jedi Council. So we have those two. And let's go down the line. And obviously I have a picture here. I have 3 pictures here as a little cheat sheet. So Plo Koon was on the Jedi Council. Obviously he got blown up when he was shot down by clone troopers and his ship crashed into the Cato Nemoidian cities and he blew up. Mace Windu was on the Jedi Council and he had his hand chopped off by Darth Vader, and he got electrocuted by Darth Sidious, and he died, and then he fell out the window. Yoda was on the Jedi Council, and we all know about Yoda. Kiari Mundi was on the Jedi Council, and he was shot by clone troopers. Saezi Tin was on the Jedi Council, and he was chopped up by Darth Sidious. Yaddle was on the Jedi Council, and she took a less active role in Jedi affairs, so she went away. Evan Peel was on the Jedi Council, and he was killed by an animal, and then fell in lava. Apo Rancistus was on the Jedi Council, and he is said to have survived Order 66, so more on him later, though. Adi Gallia was on the Jedi Council, and she was killed by Savage Opress. Yarl Poof was on the Jedi Council, and he was killed in an unknown mission before the Clone Wars. Eth Koth was on the Jedi Council, and he was kicked off the Jedi Council, and he became a priest. And after Order 66, Darth Vader killed Eth Koth. Depa Billaba was on the Jedi Council, and I have to issue a correction from the last video because it appears that Depa Billaba was actually taken off the Jedi Council while she was recovering from her injuries, so I guess she didn't go back, so I think I said something incorrect in the last video, and I did a little complaint about Depa Billaba, but I guess my complaints are invalid now because I should go look at the lore and make sure I have my facts straight. But the point is, Depa Billaba was killed by clone troopers in Order 66. Now, in Attack of the Clones, we have 2 new people, Shakti and Coleman Kaja. Shakti has like 1 million deaths, and I'm not going to go through all of them. Coleman Kaja was killed by Jango Fett. Jango Fett killed Coleman Kaja on Geonosis. Remember when Coleman Kaja jumped up on the veranda on the stage and tried to kill Count Dooku, but Jango Fett shot Coleman Kaja. By the way, if Jango Fett hadn't been in the picture, what would have happened? I think Count Dooku was very fast, and he would have reacted, and he could have probably just killed Coleman Kaja himself. So I don't think it would have made a difference if Jango Fett hadn't shot Coleman Kaja. Oh, and by the way, obviously, the only reason Jango Fett shot Coleman Kaja was because Jango Fett needed Count Dooku to be alive because Count Dooku is the guy paying him, so the guy paying you has to be alive. Now, when we get to Revenge of the Sith, we have Agent Kolar, who was killed by Darth Sidious, chopped by Darth Sidious, stabbed by Darth Sidious, actually. We have Anakin Skywalker, who needs no introduction. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we all know about him. We have Coleman Kaja, who also allegedly survived the Jedi Purge. At least that's what the Inquisitors will have you believe. And then we have Saezi Tin, who was killed by Darth Sidious. I mean, we already mentioned Saezi Tin, so we don't need to go there again. We have Kit Fisto, who was chopped up by Darth Sidious. We have Stas Ali, who was shot by clone troopers. So let me just make sure of one thing. So we have Kit Fisto, Coleman Kaja, Stas Ali, Agent Kolar, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm trying to see if I missed anyone. Did I? Yeah, I think we got everyone. It doesn't seem like we missed anyone here. I just want to go through this a little carefully. Yeah, so now that we've gone through all the Jedi Council members and their fates, we have just 2 in canon, and we're going by canon, we're not going by legends, because if we went by legends, Alpha Rancisis would be dead, and yeah, so on and so forth. And in legends, we also would. So the interesting thing is that Coleman Kaja has the same fate in both legends and canon, in that in legends, we don't really know what happened to Coleman Kaja. Like, there was no information on Coleman Kaja in legends either. And in canon, there's not much information on Coleman Kaja. Of course, what we do know for sure is that Coleman Kaja survived Order 66. Oh, and by the way, the one I forgot to mention was Stas Ali. Stas Ali was, of course, on the Jedi Council, and Stas Ali was shot by clone troopers on Saleucami during Order 66. And yeah, I mean, Stas Ali is so forgettable, so that's why I forgot about her. So I think that's everyone I think we got everyone. Kit, Coleman, Stas, Obi, Hayden, Anakin. Okay. So yeah. So obviously, as I was saying, the only ones we don't really have tangible answers for in canon at the moment are Alpo Rancisis and Coleman Kaja. Theoretically, Coleman Kaja and Alpo Rancisis could still be alive. Maybe they did not die. They could still be alive at the time of, like, Rise of Skywalker or something. I think Alpha Rancisis was already over 400 years old. I think younger than 500, but still over 400, so give or take. Yaddle could still be alive. Oh yeah, that's right. So never mind, we have 3 members who are unaccounted for. Honestly, I hope they retcon what happened to Geralt Poof, because he seems pretty cool, so I hope they have him still be alive or something, or, like, die later. But as of now, we have 3 Jedi Council members who are unaccounted for, and those are Yaddle, Alpo Rancisis, and Coleman Kaja. So Alpo, Yaddle, and Coleman. Yeah, I'm just going through the pictures again to make sure I didn't miss anyone, because when you're making these videos spontaneously, you tend to miss things. So with Yaddle, I mean, there's so little information on her, so who knows what happened. As I said, theoretically, Alpha Rancisis, Coleman Kaja, and Yaddle could still be around at the time of the Rise of Skywalker. Or we can speculate that maybe those 3 were hunted down during Order 66 and killed eventually. Or after Order 66 and killed eventually. Or we can speculate that since Alpha Rancisis was so old, maybe he just died of old age. And maybe Coleman Kaja died of old age. With Yaddle, it's hard to say, because she's about 477 years old, I believe. Around that much. She's like half Yoda's age. And so, I mean, judging by how Yoda lived to be 900, I guess theoretically she could live longer, but in canon, the only 3 examples we have of Yoda species are Yoda himself, Yaddle, and Grogu, baby Yoda. And with baby Grogu, that guy, like, obviously he's 50, and he's still very small, so the species does age slowly in canon as well. But think of it as in real-life human terms. In real life, like, there are human beings who live to be 102, or even 108, or even 106, or 105, or 118. And there are human beings who only live to be maybe 37, or 2, or they die prematurely. Or they die in their, like, 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, and below 10s, and, like, in their, like, single-digit years. So human beings die at all types of ages. So theoretically, Yaddle could just be dead. Like, just because she's the same species as Yoda doesn't mean she'll live as long, because there's, as I said, in real life, there's human beings who are 118 and human beings who were born but already just died. Like, they died as newborns or something, which is tragic, but, you know, that happens in real life too. So I would venture to say Yaddle could be dead, Yaddle could be alive, who knows? But the really, really dark theory that I have is, I think Alpha Rancisis, Coleman Kaja, and Yaddle, I think they probably read the tea leaves and read the writing on the wall when the Empire took over and all the Jedi were exterminated. I think they probably decided that it would be better to maybe go on their own terms rather than wait for the Empire to catch them, if you catch my drift. And I've floated this theory around several times before in several of my videos, but I'm going to say it a little more explicitly. Maybe Yaddle, Alperansis, and Coleman Kaja took their lightsabers and did away with themselves. Maybe Yaddle, Alperansis, and Coleman Kaja committed, destroyed themselves, made themselves become one with the Force, because they figured that would be better than being caught by the Empire and possibly going through horrible experiences and then dying painfully. So rather than dying so painfully, maybe they just took care of themselves. And so that's why the Inquisitors maybe never found them. Darth Vader never found them. Darth Sidious never found them. Or the alternative is that perhaps Alperansis, Yaddle, and Coleman Kaja, they just died. Like, they died somehow. Like, they weren't killed by clone troopers, but they just ended up dying somehow. Maybe someone else killed them or something else happened to them. And the Empire just never found out about it because maybe they were already cremated and gone. Like, they just, so, yeah, they could have, so theoretically they could have hidden themselves. So theoretically they could have just died due to other circumstances and the Empire just never found out. Or, as I said, maybe Coleman Kaja, Alperansis, and Yaddle hid themselves so well that the Empire just couldn't find them and they're still alive. And as I said, I mean, it's obviously quite possible because Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda did that. Now, in terms of Yaddle and Alperansis, I mean, I already gave my opinion. I said that if I wrote Star Wars, I would have Yaddle be in the Darth Vader comics. I would have her take the place of Farron Barr, and I would have her be the one who's manipulating King Lee Char of the Mon Calamari, and also I would have her just sow chaos, and I would have her appear in the Mandalorian, and I would have had it so that she would have left the Jedi Order after the Phantom Menace, and that's the one acceptable way I would have her survive. Otherwise, I would have just killed her off. And with Alperansis, as I've said, I would have had him appear in the Son of Dathomir arc, and I would have had Darth Maul kill him. And I would, of course, have Alperansis appear a lot more often and be really awesome, but like I would kill him at the end of the Clone Wars. Because when you have Jedi Council members who are not in the following movies, you want to get rid of them. You want to give a tangible reason as to why they're not there. And that's something that canon overall has not done a great job of doing, although it's done a good job of that in some ways. Now, with Coleman Kaja, I mean, I guess it's fine if he survives because, as I said, there was really no information on him in Legends, and in canon, like, he's just survived Order 66. I mean, he's appeared a few times, he's seen walking, and, like, he's there, but he's really not all too common. And with Coleman Kaja, like, he's in Revenge of the Sith, and there's no indication, there's nothing about him, so sure, he could have survived, theoretically. I mean, about 100 Jedi survived the Jedi Purge, Order 66, and so there were about 10,000 Jedi, so 100 is like 1%, so that's very little, so Coleman Kaja surviving does not make a big difference, and since there's no Jedi Councils in the following movie, it's fine if Coleman Kaja survives, so I mean, he's the only one I'm fine with surviving, but the others, like, they should have done something, wrapped it up, and found a way to handle it more efficiently. Now, yeah, I just realized something, but anyway, I'll keep that to myself. I really like the floor art of the Jedi Council chamber. Like, there's a lot of, like, I like the design. And as I said, sometimes you watch Star Wars and you think about all these different aliens and how creatively they've been made, so it's pretty impressive.